Hello boys and girls, Alex here. I would like to give you my impression, I won't necessarily say a review, but my thoughts of this Rockler. Look, hang on, I'll get my cheat sheet and get this correct. It's called the Rockler Auto Lock T-Track Hold Down Clamp. Bugger it, I'll just call it a Rockler clamp, you know what I mean from now on. Before I bought this unit or found out about this, I used to use these Bessie hold down clamps. Now they're great, the only problem is normally you had to screw them down onto your table. Like here's another one I use. As you can see, I used to screw it down onto a base plate and then use runners or whatever to mount them in T-tracks or wherever I wanted to use them or clamp them down. Now this is just a simple toggle clamp that assuming that this was now mounted on the same thing here. So let's put that aside. And this is great. Now I mounted this with a couple of little ground down washers so I could use it in the mitre slot of my table saw. Did work well. When you compare the two, they work on the same principle. They have this lever arm that actually adjusts automatically to the height, the thickness of the timber you're trying to clamp down. So whether it's a 1/4 inch or 1 inch, you don't have to adjust the head of it. I mean, you've got the adjustability, but once you've set the tension, you don't have to adjust the head, as long as naturally it can cover the thickness of the timber. If you compare the two, now this is stainless steel, really solid little unit. This is more aluminium or, well, to put it bluntly, a cheaper version of it, and it is cheaper. However, I will say I haven't used any scientific measuring of pressure, maximum pressure you can apply with these compared to that. However, I can guarantee you these are much stronger, but if I did use its maximum capacity, I could just about guarantee it'd either distort the T-track or rip it right out of its settings. So I'm not going to do that. As I say, I'm not going to try and demonstrate the height of it. The one thing I will say is that in a T-track, this can provide sufficient pressure that I need without jeopardising the integrity of the T-track. If I wanted greater pressure, I'll show you my next go-to way of doing it, at least on this tabletop. Otherwise, I use clamps and things like that, but let's go from there. Now, the way these little things work is they've got this little bolt there, which you actually move out or move it out to make the pressure tighter, or screw it right in to make it make the pressure less. There's also a little lock nut there that I do recommend, if you do ever get one, you use, because these tend to move, and if you haven't got it locked off, suddenly you'll find you do change the pressure on it, and it suddenly doesn't apply enough pressure, or it applies too much pressure one way or the other, but it's not necessarily what you want. Now, rather than carry this big bulky thing, I'll show you the main crux of it, which is really this T-bolt, which is mounted on this, it's 5/16 inch T-bolt mounted on this wheel with a 5/16 inch nut that holds it down onto your T-track. Now I'll bring you, here's an example of it. Now the problem with this is, a 5/16 inch T-bolt works beautifully, I hope you can see that, on a Craig track. Beautiful. It's built for it. Well, naturally it's Craig. However, let's go into Incra. Will not fit Incra. Will not fit Craig. Oh shit, tell a lie, whoops. That's a Rockler. This is a Incra. Will not fit the Incra. However, you can turn around and say, hey, you can file, oops, hope you can see this, file the edges down there and fit, which I have done. The problem is that the 5/16 inch bolt, while it fits in the Incra, it fits in the Craig, so you know once you've filed it down it will still slip. It will not fit into, sorry, the Rockler, it won't fit into the Craig. It just won't go down there. And hey, you can file down the edges of the bolt, but you're going to fuck that up quickly. Anyway, it fits on the Incra. However, there are other, where the hell is it? Why the hell couldn't I find that before I was looking for that? I finished up dragging one out of the archives. Here we are. That's the full-length Craig track, unused. That one's been cannibalised. And there's, if you also are stupid, not stupid enough, but buy all these hybrid aluminium things for jigs and fences and God knows what, the 5/16 won't fit down some of them. Right? So that became a bit of a bummer, which means that either I had to swap out all my Craig or non-Incra Rockler T-tracks with Rockler Incra T-tracks, or what I finished up doing is, where is it? Come on, here we are. I actually made up one of these wheels, 3D printed one of those wheels, and mounted a 1/4 inch nut and a 1/4 inch bolt in it, which basically meant that I could, here we are, here's one of them in example, mount this on, here we are, my Craig, come on, get this right, track, that one there, or whichever one it is. Now, one thing I will say, naturally not everybody's got a 3D printer. However, you can just have a wooden wheel replacing that, and then in that indent a nut, a 1/4 inch nut, whether it's a square nut, half nut, whatever. The whole thing about it is, you don't need these little knurls on it, because you don't need to apply a lot of pressure to tighten this down. You only need to provide sufficient pressure to stop it from moving. As you can see, it still moves quite easy. And you can get enough pressure just out of a wooden wheel to apply that, and Bob's your uncle. Now here we are, I'll try and demonstrate how it works. Now bear in mind, I've got a lot of faith in it going along the length of the track, because naturally you're pushing down on the track, lifting up on the track. The tendency, because you're pushing down and lifting on the track, you're not likely to pull out on the track. However, if you wanted to do it that way, you're pushing down there, lifting up there, you've got a tendency. But I'll try and show you how it works. Now let's pick a, there you are, 3mm MDF, put it down. As you can see, I can't move it, but it's quite solid. So I lift that up, and let's pick a, what can we use? There you are, 19mm pine, same thing. You notice I haven't changed that at all. Admittedly, that's doesn't seem to have as much pressure as it did on that, but it still has it. There you are. Now look, don't get me wrong, I can move it. If I really try hard, I can move it. There you are. Well, that way I can, but pulling it this way, not as easily. I just find that they're really great to hold down and stop it from moving. Now, in all fairness, if I wanted, and this is where I'll get back to you a bit before, if I really want strong hold down, what I'll do is I'll get one of my Rockler Festool clamps, or any other type of a clamp you've got. That goes in there, straight down, and you won't move that. There's no way known you're going to move that. Sorry, you're probably not getting the best picture of it, because I should turn this side on. There you are. there's a thing there that stops it. Put it down there, turn that on, side on, and you're not going to move that. Now, admittedly, the problem is you've got to have the dog holes. You can't have this everywhere. However, having said that, if you've got a tabletop with T-track on it, and suddenly you find you need this absolute strong hold down, nothing to stop you from drilling a, well, I drill 20mm holes in here, but nothing to stop you from drilling a hole so I can use one of these clamps. It's not going to jeopardise the integrity of your tabletop too much, other than the fact that you're guaranteed to drop every screw you pick up down that bloody hole. The other alternative is, for this solid hold down, is to, as I said, I'm now deviating from here, but I'm just trying to show you what else you can use. I use these Irving clamps. With the removable head, you can, well, let's get this right. Put that down there. Oh God, I should have set this up beforehand. Come on. There we go. Tighten it up. Oh, come on. That's if you haven't got a Rockler clamp, because they are bloody expensive, and there you are. You've got your clamp here, and again, there's no way knowing that's going to move. And, yeah. That's it. Now, but the other thing that I do like about these Rockler clamps is you can really pimp them out. What I have done, and really don't ask me where I got these beasts from. Where is it? Come here. Got all this gadgetry here now, and come on. Here we, no, that's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Come on, come on, come on. Here we are. That's the one. This little thing here, I don't know where I picked it up. It was one hardware shop or whatever. But that is designed to sit into your mitre slot. The mitre slot of your table saw, router table, bandsaw. And again, it's a simple case of, let's see, let's pick one. Here's a clamp. You undo that, put that there. Tighten that up. Oops, hang on. Let's get this right. It's actually got a thread in there. So, come on. Every time you rehearse these bloody things, they work like a charm until you turn the camera on, and then nothing works. There we go. Then once you've got it started, look, I'll actually give you a quick picture of this used on a table saw later. The other thing that you can do is I've actually pimped it out with one of these little units. Now again, if you want to place that somewhere different on your table, I hope you can see this. I'll go here. No, hang on, I'll do it here. All it is just a 20mm piece of dowel, washer, nut, comes up through there. Have I got a spare one? No, I haven't. Hang on, I'll prepare one. Here's one that I have prepared. No, I haven't prepared, but now bear in mind that this one, because it's not in a T-track, this is actually making use of the original 5/16 inch. It's a 5/16 inch bolt that goes up through there. Whoops, make sure you have the nut on top, not on the bottom. That sits on there. God, this is taking an age to demonstrate. Sorry guys, but there you go. And now I don't mind, because I don't have to worry about the integrity of a T-track or whatever. I can apply, there you are, see it's maximum pressure, and I don't care whether, well, not whether, because it hasn't got a T-track to pull out on. I can apply maximum pressure on there. It's not at maximum, there's about bit less, about 2 mil thread poking out. If I really crank that up, pull that out by that 2 mil, I could really apply quite a bit of force. And now look, that's not going to move. If I apply force onto that, that will make that move. I shouldn't be doing it in this setup here. I should be using serious clamps. Now, what else can I say? Oh yeah, for all it's worth, Rockler also make these other clamps that actually hold things along. And again, what I've done is I've custom made a couple of these things. I think these are 8 mil bolts, only because they're easier to get than 5/16. And again, that works. You don't need to actually screw this down because you're applying lateral, not upward force on it. One of the stupid things I didn't like about this, you'll notice here, is that's, oh, let's go this way. That's 19 mil. Oh, come on. That's 19 mil, so when you're sanding, that gets in the way. I thought I'd be a real smart ass and 3D print something that'll let you get your sander in there. Stupid, because all I really needed to do was use this clamp and just put a piece of thinner packing in there, something like that, and I've got the appropriate, there you go, let's go this way, appropriate distance there. But that was my stupidity, but again, we're not here to talk about stupidity there. What else can I say? That's about it. Like, personally, they are great if you've got just Rockler T-tracks. If you've got other T-tracks, I do recommend you pimp it out with these 1/4 inch nuts and bolts. Just a wooden wheel with a thread through it would suffice, and that's about it. But other than that, I reckon they're great. I love them. I use them continually anywhere where I've got T-tracks, and I've got T-tracks practically everywhere. I don't use these that much. They look good, they seem good, but yeah, I do use them, but not as much as anywhere near as much as these. Other than that, boys and girls, I think that's about it. I think this has taken a hell of a lot longer than I expected. But yeah, just after I'll switch this off, I'll mount this on there, take it over to my table saw, and just take another couple of seconds to show you how I use it. Okay, actually, like, here it is on my router table. As you can see, it's in the mitre slot of the router table. I can move it along. Why the hell I'd want to hold something down on the router table, I've got no idea. Hang on, let's see, just to prove to you that it does work. No idea, but you can. Probably, you know, if I want to hold a jig down of some sort or a guide, maybe. Why I'd want to use it. And the same thing on the table saw, but I'll just prove to you it does work on the table saw, as you can see. Screwing this down, as I said, any wheel will do the thing. Just make sure the diameter's right, otherwise it's it won't fit in there. Make sure you make it the same diameter as the original wheel. That's it. So as you can see, it slots in there. Okay, over to the table saw. Right, here we are at the table saw. Now, bear in mind, this is not much chop to you if your table saw hasn't got a T-slot in it, but this one has, and you do need to line it up properly. I hope probably my head was in the way, but as you can see, it works beautifully there. Whoops. Needs to hold something down. You can twist it that way, but laterally, you know, of course you'll move it with a bit of force. And you'll notice that I have got one of those Bessie clamps. You know, let's get it. But all that's doing is just holding the pieces down there. This will give you an idea why I don't like them. They do have, I hold them down with nuts, sorry, knurled knobs, but you can only move them in sort of like one direction. You can't swing the head around. So it only works at 90 degrees. But other than that, yeah, it is. It's actually, oh, hang on, let's tighten this down. And it's good, it keeps all the bits and pieces for the jig in place. Okay, that is it now. If you like them, do yourself a favour, buy them. If you don't like them, well, tough titties. Catch you later.